What's up, everyone? Kevin here. Welcome to the Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. Thank you guys for hopping on here to hang out. If you guys have any snowboard questions, now's your time to ask. Hit me up with anything. Snowboard season is coming up quick, so really exciting time. I've been looking at some snowboard gear, doing a bit of shopping online, checking things out, and also got a trip upcoming to New Zealand as well. So lots of stuff going on. Excited to be on here with you guys for the next hour. Just a reminder too, if you haven't yet, subscribe here to Snowboard Pro Camp. Hit that like button. If you want to support the channel, you can become a member. So become a member by joining. And there's some really good perks over there too. So you get there's some exclusive polls going on over there. The best perk though, in my opinion, is that we do a bonus chat right after this one. So if you guys want to hang out a bit longer, we do a bonus chat after this one. And then there's also an option that if you have any riding clips and you want some feedback on your riding, you can email me your videos and I'll make you a video and send that back. So those are some of the perks if you join up and become a member. Let's say hello to some of the people that are already in the chat. We got El Stacker Adventures on here. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well, El Stacker. We got Bad Riders in the chat as well. All right, who else is in here? We got Justin Visey. What's up, Justin? Luke Hayes, all the way from down under in Australia. We got Michael Boyle. What's up, Michael? Yeah, I hope all you guys are doing super well. Sweet. Yeah, so exciting times. Things are lots of new snowboards are getting released, so it's really fun to see all the new brands putting out some new models and things like that. So I've been following that. I've also been getting ready for upcoming New Zealand trip to going to be going to Wanaka and riding in Cardrona. If you guys have been following the channel the last few years, we've done a bunch of trips out to Cardrona. It's always an amazing time. They have a great park there. Really fun to be down in New Zealand. The whole vibe down there is super good. Some of the best, I think, terrain park riding in the world is going on right now in Cardrona in New Zealand. So excited to get down there for kind of like their, as they get into spring. So that should be super fun. And also been looking at picking up some new gear too. So excited to check out some new gear. Maybe you guys can let me know what's been on your guys' radar for gear. Has there been anything that you've had your eyes on? Anything that's that you guys might pick up? I see that I think it's Isaac is saying, "Yo, what are your thoughts on the K2 Tony Hawk Party Plotter?" Yeah, that looks like a super fun board for sure. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't ridden it myself. But yeah, what kind of snowboarding do you do, Isaac? What's your main thing? And maybe I can tell you if that's the right board for you or not. We got Jim Skate watching from London. Luke Hayes all the way from Oz. Yeah, let me know where you guys are watching from too. It's always fun to see where everyone is tuning in from. Isaac is saying that he rides park and all mountain. I mean, yeah, I think the party plotter could definitely be a fun one for that. So yeah, if you're into park and all mountain riding, that could be a great board for you. Jim Skate, what kind of camber do you recommend for a beginner? So if you look at a lot of the more beginner intro level snowboards, they all have like a similar profile. So most of them are either like flat to rocker, or they might have some mellow rocker in between your feet or they might have some mellow camber in between your feet that rockers out towards the tips. So I'd probably recommend either of those two, either flat to rocker or a mellow camber with some early rise rocker. Any of those two cambers I think will be really good if you're a beginner. that early rise rocker, when you go to initiate a turn, it'll be easier to start the turn because of that rocker in the nose. And then as your turn is coming around as a beginner, it's going to happen a lot more like fluidly and more catch free, especially like sometimes what will happen is if you're going through a turn, if you're not fully committed to that new edge, sometimes the tail of your snowboard can kind of catch a little bit. So having that rocker out towards the tail as well can help it be more catch free and really good if you're a beginner snowboarder. So yeah, either of those two profiles I think is the best, either flat to rocker or some mellow camber that rockers out early. And Stevie G is watching from the UK. Stevie G says, "Flying V?" question mark. Flying V is a decent option as well. If you guys don't know what Flying V is, it's very similar to what LiveChat does with their boards too, with like their C2 camber. But it's when you have positive camber under your feet and then reverse camber in between your feet and reverse camber towards the tips. And I did have a custom Flying V for at least one season, maybe two. But the feeling of the Flying V is it does make the board turn a lot faster because the tips of your board are rising up that much earlier. So the contact points, the widest point of your snowboard's edge that's in contact with the snow, those are going to be rising up away from the snow, and you're going to be able to initiate a turn faster with Flying V. And the turn is going to be a lot less catchy towards the end too. So there's some pros and cons with Flying V. So the pro is that the turns are a lot easier and quicker to make. The con is that you have a little bit less stability. So you have just a little bit less of your edges in contact with the snow. So you do feel like you have like a looser ride under your feet. I remember when I was making my turns, like the board would really come around a lot. And it was something I had to sort of adapt my riding to, that there wasn't as much edge there to really hold me and give me stability. So I think if you're like a beginner to intermediate rider, I think Flying V is great. I mean, some more advanced people might like it too, but I think the more advanced and expert level your riding gets, then I think Flying V will be less and less of a good thing for you. All right. Michael says, "Hey, I recently got my first board. However, I'm trying to strap in. The strap on my binding doesn't reach out far enough. Any tips?" I'm trying to strap in the strap on my binding doesn't reach out far enough. Any tips? Do you mean like over top of your boot? Like does your strap not fit over top of your boot? Because if that's the case, you can definitely adjust the straps. So I think I have a binding here. So you can see on these bindings, where is it? Actually, I've never adjusted the straps on these ones before, so I don't know exactly how it works, but what the heck? All right, well, on this piece, there is a little, you can unlock this and unscrew it to make this strap bigger. So if this is too small to go over your boot, then you can just adjust it right here, and you can see there's like 7 holes that you can go across. So you can make it smaller or a lot bigger. So check out your binding and yeah, adjust the straps so that you get that good centered fit over top of your boot. Isaac says, "What are your thoughts on people snowboarding without helmets?" I definitely think people should wear helmets, like snowboarding, especially because, you know, there's times when you're snowboarding that you're going to be riding over ice. And so growing up in Canada, I mean, a lot of places too, where there's like a lot of cold weather, you grow up playing like winter sports. So I played a lot of ice hockey as a kid. And even with a helmet on, if you hit your head on the ice with your helmet, you're still gonna feel it. So yeah, taking that risk of riding without a helmet and like hitting your head on firm snow or ice, yeah, there's like some major potential risks there. So, I mean, in my opinion, I think everybody should wear a helmet. I've always worn a helmet just because I know like a lot of people check out the channel and the videos. So if I'm gonna influence anybody to do something, I definitely want them to do it in the safest way possible. So yeah, wearing a helmet I think is a good thing to do, especially like yeah, if you're somebody that maybe people are watching or whatever, it's good to set that good example. So I mean, I think 100% everyone should wear a helmet. I know some people don't, but yeah, it's everyone's kind of own choice. Bad Riders with 7 months as a member. Awesome, man. Thanks for the support. He's an SPC All-Star team. Awesome. Thanks, Bad Riders. Back to being an All-Star. Let's go. Yeah, Adam. Yeah, and Adam. So Bad Riders has sent like a bunch of videos of his riding too. So it's been fun, just giving him some feedback, some comments. So that's been awesome. Shout out to Bad Riders. Chase saying, "Are you coming to New Zealand this year?" Yeah. So I leave next Friday. It takes I think 24 hours for me to get there, and then I lose a day as well. So I leave on September the 8th, and I arrive on September the 10th. I don't know if I'll be able to ride on the 10th, but I'll definitely be snowboarding the 10th or 11th, probably the 11th until October the 9th. So I'm there for about a month and staying in Wanaka and going to try to ride as many of the resorts as possible, but mainly at Cardrona, I think. Can you recommend a board that is essentially a Capita DOA with magnet traction or some similar edge tech? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good question. To be honest, like, yeah, what's a similar to the DOA? For some reason, the LibTech and GNU boards maybe don't have the same stiffness. It's just tricky because, yeah, when you get into magnet traction boards, some of them have the C2X or C3 profile, which is a bit different than the DOA. That's a good question. I'll have to get back to you on that. Yeah, what else is there? There's also, yeah, because the Capita DOA, it's like it's a twin board, but it is a bit stiffer. So it's like a 6 out of 10 for the park. I mean, there are boards that have like C3, so there's like the headspace, the GNU headspace, but that one is a bit softer than the DOA. At the moment, that one to me is like the closest one. Maybe the headspace. Yeah, I'll let you know if I think of any other ones. Evelyn Albert with a $10 super chat. Awesome. Thanks, Evelyn. Yeah, appreciate the support and dropping the #1 fan sticker. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Bad Riders dropping a $20 Australian super chat. Yeah, thank you, man. Says, members chat topic. Why does Kevin dislike all mountain boards? He seems to talk a lot about park and POW, but what about the most versatile category of board? Also, I need some tips on a medium stiff binding, no mini discs. That's a good chat topic. I would say that, I mean, I can touch on it now, but we can elaborate more in the bonus chat. But I mean, I guess my thing with all mountain boards is that, I mean, it would just be better to have two boards, have one very park specific board and then have one board for everything else, and not to have one that's like half good at park and half good at at the rest of the mountain. So yeah, instead of being half good at each, just have two boards. One is like an expert at each of their own disciplines, and need some a medium stiff binding. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want the mini disc, you could check out so I've got the Forces right here. They're definitely a medium stiffness. And it's got the full-size disc. Yeah, full-size disc. You could also check out, yeah, the Now drives are kind of like medium. They're stiffer than medium, but yeah, they're like kind of like a 6 or 7 out of 10 on the stiffness, I think. So there's a couple. But yeah, Adam, good. Thanks for the support, man, and I'll talk to you in the members area too. Ben wants to know, do they have a snow park in Mount Baker? They don't. They don't have a terrain park at Mount Baker, unfortunately. But they do have some incredible terrain, lots of different lifts, some access to some incredible backcountry, all that kind of stuff, but they do not have a terrain park. I think at one point they had a park, maybe quite a few years ago, but not anymore. They might bring it back, who knows? Bad Rider saying, more vids incoming, just editing them at the moment, have 50 plus to upload. Awesome, man. So I can see why now you're in that all-star level, because you're going to put me to work. But yeah, I like it. So yeah, Adam, I think he's been riding quite a bit down in Australia. So he's been making some videos. Gonna send them. I guess you're going to send them to me to give you some feedback. And yeah, I can't wait to see him, man. Cristobal says, will you come to Chile again soon? Man, I would love to get down to Chile. To be honest, I'm kind of like wishing that I had made some kind of trip down there. Just because, yeah, it looks incredible. Love the whole vibe of Chile, like South America. Yeah, I kind of messed up not going down there this year, but I think it's due next year, 2024, maybe August, Chile. So no plans to come this year, but maybe August 2024, we'll have to make it back. Crystal Ball, where do you snowboard in Chile? Let me know. Chase says, are you planning on going to any of the New Zealand North Island ski fields like Taroa? No plans at the moment, but that could change, and we could always do a road trip up there. But yeah, no plans at the moment. But I'm gonna keep an eye on like the resorts, the weather. If something is looking good, then we might have to make the drive up. Justin, what are your plans post New Zealand? Are you going to be living in Nelson or Utah? Good question, Justin. I think we're gonna make home base in Utah this winter. So I think the plan will be to probably move there mid-November and then stay till like mid to late January. There's kind of like a surprise. I guess it's not too much of a surprise, but there's a potential trip coming to go out to Banff in late January. But yeah, more details about that coming, and then we're off to India for February. So yeah, lots of exciting stuff coming up, but the front running plan for the home base this year is going to be Utah. Riley says, are you going to come to Timberline Mount Hood this year? I mean, I was just at Timberline for almost 3 months through the spring and summer. I know that, yeah, I do need to check out Timberline in the winter, but I think that's more of my like spring, summer destination. So unless like Timberline gets some kind of crazy storms coming through in the winter, I probably won't be back until the spring or summer. Bolay says, I do need the Union mini disc cover. I just bought the Union Falcor and they came with the wrong disc. Really? Oh, that's interesting. I'm sure if you like get in touch with them, they'll send you out the right discs. That's like a pretty easy fix, I think. Ben says, so they don't have any snowboard parks in Washington State anymore. When you say snowboard parks, you mean like a terrain park? I mean, Crystal Mountain, I think, has a terrain park. Where else has terrain parks? Yeah, they still, Stevens Pass has a terrain park. There's definitely some terrain parks around Washington, 100%. They just don't have one at Mount Baker. Freddie says, my board suffered some damage last season. Metal edge has split on the heel edge. Fixable or a good excuse for me to buy a new board. P.S. Thanks for all the great content. Big fan from the UK here. Awesome, Freddie. Yeah, appreciate you checking out the videos. Man, heel edge, I mean, it just depends like how bad the damage is, how much of a crack it is, if it's coming apart or not. So, I mean, one thing you could look into getting it fixed. So like possibly look into taking it to somebody and seeing what their quote is to repair it. But sometimes like if the repair job is going to be too much money, like, you know, if it's getting to be the price of a new board, then it's probably maybe worth keeping that board as your just like early season rock board and then picking up a new one. So yeah, I would just see how much it is going to be to get it fixed. If it's going to be an inexpensive fix, then maybe keep it. If it's going to get too expensive, then you might have to get onto something new. Jedi, what type of gear do you get every new season to replace old gear? I mean, I do typically get new gear every season, and the past like 3 or 4 years, if I do get a bunch of new gear, usually I like either donate my old gear to friends or to like a snowboard shop or to the Goodwill, or if it's something that's like I don't know, I may sell some stuff online too. But I mostly just give things away. So there's like a few snowboard shops around here and up in Whistler. And if I'm in there and talking to somebody that I know, I might just ask them like, hey, do you guys need any snowboard gear? And then donate it. So I usually, because I'm always trying to get onto new gear too, so I can give you guys my feedback on it for doing reviews and things like that. But I mean, if you have to, like, I don't necessarily have to replace things, but the things that are probably replaced the most because I need to is probably boots. Just because snowboard boots, they do go through like a lot. They're like in the snow quite a bit. They're getting worked. And with snowboard boots too, like if you're riding them, so they're like the boots I have now, I've been riding them for like almost a year, and they're definitely like a lot softer now than they were for like the first 3 or 4 months I rode them. So boots is definitely the thing I go through the most. Boots and also like mittens, just because mittens, like, you know, if you're doing stuff in the snow, holding onto tow ropes, grabbing chairlifts, your mittens can get ripped and torn up too. So I'd say mittens and boots are the things I go through like no matter what. Also helmets for sure, because if you like, you know, have a crash, hit your head, that impact on the helmet, you're going to have like some damage on the helmet, and it's always good to replace your helmet after every impact just to make sure it's working in like perfect condition. So are those the 3 things? Yeah, I guess those would be the 3 things that you probably replace the most. Yeah, boots, mittens probably the most often, then boots, and then helmet, depending on how many crashes you take. Bad Riders, if you can make it, man, come over to Wanaka this year. If you got a weekend, if you got a week, just hop over. Bad Riders wants to know, is Yannick coming back for the season? He is, yeah. So last winter, my good friend Yannick, he has kind of helped me out on the channel for years and years. But this last year, he became like a full-time employee, helping me to like edit videos, to film videos. And this past, like, so the channel slows down in the summertime, so I couldn't keep him around full-time. So he had to go back to his job as a banker through the summer. But he's done that, I think, at the middle of November. So Yannick will be back the middle of November, helping me to film, edit for at least 6 months. And if I can afford to keep him on year round, that is the goal, is to hopefully have like a year round employee. That would be perfect. But yeah, Yannick is going to be back. So he'll be coming to Utah. He'll be coming to Banff and also on the India trip. So that'll be awesome. Tavern says, does Whistler have snow early December for snowboarding? It does, yeah. So Whistler, I would say like most often they open like the middle of November. I think like the official opening day is the American Thanksgiving weekend, which is like the third or like the last weekend of November. So that's like the official opening weekend, but typically Whistler Blackcomb opens earlier, so like mid-November. And then it's like a gamble in terms of snow. Like there's been some opening days where there's been like waist deep snow, and other opening days where it's pretty bare. And yeah, it totally depends on the season, but typically they can get the mountain open like mid-November. Jim Skate, can you still enjoy riding a wide board without the shoe size? Does it massively affect riding? It kind of depends. For me, I prefer riding a wide snowboard, even though like my snowboard boot size is 9.5. My shoe size is like a 10.5, but I can squeeze into a 9.5 boot pretty comfortably. So I don't need a wide board, but I actually prefer to ride a wide snowboard just because I'm like 6'3", about 200 pounds. And I find that the wide board width actually just gives me a bit more stability. Even in the park, like if I'm getting onto like a box or a rail or something, the extra width of the board actually makes me feel a bit more stable, like balancing onto something. So in my case, I think it does help my riding. I might be just a slightly slower edge to edge, but I think in terms of that, you can adapt to that as well and just like make that a bit quicker. And then it's like a big help too for like, carving. I'm not getting any heel or toe drag. So for carving, it's awesome. And then powder too, like it just floats like super well in powder. So my POW board, which is like kind of right beside my park board there, the excavator, it like floats super well in powder, and it's like a really wide snowboard too. So in my case, the extra width helps. But if you were like a really light person and you were, shorter, lighter, and you had small feet and you didn't need a wide snowboard, then I can see that kind of hindering your riding a little bit, because it does take a little bit extra effort to go from edge to edge. So it might not work for everybody, but I think for people that are a little bit bigger, I think a wide snowboarder can actually improve your riding. Crystal Ball says that they ride in Chile, Valle Nevado, and El Colorado are great. Portillo has some crazy good off-piste. El Colorado also has an area called Santa Teresita. It's also all off-piste. Chilean and Coralco are awesome. Oh, amazing, Crystal Ball. Do you have, is there a park, like a good terrain park in Chile that you'd recommend? Because if I went back, yeah, it'd be great to, visit some places for the off-piste and powder, but also if there's a good terrain park in Chile, I would definitely visit that too. Julian says, "Hi Kevin, how are you? Have you ever used wrist guards slash back protectors?" Yeah, Julian, I'm doing good, man. I hope you're good as well. I've never used wrist guards or back protectors. I feel like for snowboard injuries, I mean, so for wrists, like beginners tend to hurt their wrists, and I think like wrist injuries come from catching your edge and not quite feeling comfortable falling yet, and so you stick your wrists out, and that's when you can hurt your wrist. So for beginners, wrist guards are really good, but I think once you're past like that intermediate stage, then you don't really need wrist guards anymore. And then it typically what happens is you get more like shoulder injuries, unfortunately. So wrist guards I think are really good for beginners or intermediates. And then back protectors, I've never used a back protector, but I'm not against them either. And I think that if you're into the park a lot and maybe even, getting inverted or taking any kind of risk like that, then a back protector potentially could be good, but I don't really know. Like I don't see anything wrong with wearing a back protector, and yeah, it could help. So that one is kind of open to you. Crystal Ball says there is a trick for El Colorado, $100 for low season, meaning no weekends and no July, but the rest is included. Weekends from June to September. Okay, awesome. Good to know. Ben has a question. I have a question. How do I get from Seattle to Crystal Mountain by bus? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how do you get there by bus. Maybe there's a shuttle. I would go to the Crystal Mountain website and look on there to see if they have any transportation info. L Stacker is saying cannonball the like button. Absolutely. Thank you, L Stacker. Yo, what's up, Nicholas Richards? Thanks for hopping on. Oh, we have a new channel member, Jim Skate. Awesome. Bad Rider saying, welcome to the team, Jim Skate. Oh, amazing. Oh yeah, Jim Skate. Yeah, thanks, man. He's got the new little like emoji beside his name. Awesome. Yeah, if you guys want to help support the channel, become a member, hit that join button, a bunch of cool perks. We're going to do a bonus chat after this one. And if you have any riding clips and you want some feedback on your riding, you get like a special email that you can send your riding clips to. So yeah, hit that join button if you want to become a member. Atomic Stag is on here. What's up, man? El Stacker dropping some potatoes in the chat. Dude, thanks for the potatoes. Luke Hayes dropping the potatoes. Atomic Stag saying, your channel has helped me a ton when I was just starting to snowboard. Awesome. Yeah, that's like a big goal of the channel is to make content for everybody. So from beginner all the way through expert is to try to have some type of content for everybody. And I know that like most snowboarders are, just like most people are just starting out, either beginner or intermediate. So yeah, I've tried to make lots of content for beginners and intermediate, and then hopefully fill in all the spaces in between as well to help people get to that advanced or expert level. So yeah, I'm stoked that the content helped you get your start, man. That's amazing to hear. The Psychopathic Vegan says, are you coming to Cardrona again? Snow conditions are pretty average. Yeah, so I know, yeah, you guys haven't had the best season for snow, but you never know. It could turn around. So yeah, we're going to come anyway. Always enjoy riding the park, and you don't need like the best snow conditions for the park. So yeah, gonna come down and check it out anyway. But psychopathic vegan. Do you have any recommendations for vegan restaurants around Wanaka or Queenstown? Any vegan spots or your favorite things? Let me know. Bad Riders dropping, looks like the McDonald's fries into the chat. Thank you for that, Bad Riders. Up Your Game says, the place to be is Taroa, yo boy. Okay, I might have to check out Taroa then. Make the drive. Yannick and Kevin crashed Justin's bachelor party video. Yeah. So Justin is getting married this winter, and he's having his bachelor party in Utah. So we might have to crash it. Bring the cameras. Bad Riders saying that it's pretty low tide in Australia as well. Yeah, sorry you guys haven't been having the best season. That's a bummer. Hopefully, I mean, there's still some time left in winter down south, so I hope you guys get some late season dumps. Michael, what are your thoughts on the ride Shadow Ban? To be honest, I'm not too familiar with that board. It sounds really cool though. Really cool name, Shadow Ban. Next chat, I'll have to have my computer beside me so I can look up some of these boards on the fly that I'm not familiar with. Jedi, what's your preferred binding angle at the moment? How much do you change it every season? Does it depend on weather conditions, icy versus powder, all mountain versus park? Yeah, it changes a little bit. So if it's a park day, then I'm riding a pretty twin stance. So yeah, maybe like plus 15 and negative 15, just a total twin stance so that my board like rides and feels the same in either direction. But I was actually, this past summer, I was in a really cool, this dude that was at camp, Blaze, was talking about some different stance angles. So that's kind of gotten me thinking of changing it up a little bit and trying some different stuff. But yeah, outside of the park, if it's like a POW day, then I'm going to be riding like more directional. And I don't go crazy with it. So I go like -9 in the back and then like plus 18 in the front. And so just giving me like that more directional stance. But yeah, it's something that you can play around with. You can definitely play around with like how wide or narrow your stance is, the angles, whether you set them back. So like if it's a POW day and you have like a twin board, it's good to set your bindings all the way back, make your tail as small as possible. But yeah, it's good to experiment, try things out, and yeah, just kind of make adjustments as you feel it out. Bolay says, I've started first aid training to become a ski patrol in Afton Alps, Minnesota. I'm so looking forward to the season and the whole new way of experience the slope. That's awesome. Yeah, congratulations. That's like that's a really cool endeavor that you're heading out on to become a ski patrol. Yeah, it's great. You can be on the mountain, you can be like getting those turns in, and then also helping people at the same time. Really cool. Eugene says, just got my first board, the Burton Custom Camber. Second year rider, can ride and turn no issues. Would this board be too much? It might be a little too much, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, second year rider, Burton Custom Camber. I mean, with the Burton Custom Camber, it is like more of a full camber snowboard. So it's a little bit more on the aggressive camber side. And it's like not super stiff, but it's a little bit stiff. I think it's like a 5 or 6 on the stiffness scale. So I mean, I don't know how far you've progressed into your second season, but I mean, it wouldn't be the first board I'd recommend to you. I probably would have recommended maybe something a bit more mellow, like the Burton Process. But yeah, I mean, you might love it. You might, yeah, who knows? Wara says, hello from Boston. Awesome. Thanks for watching all the way from Boston. Nathaniel, best snowboard for people trying to get into riding park. I also want to be able to ride the rest of the mountain on the same board. Yeah, there's some good options out there, like getting into the park. So yeah, you want something softer, a bit more mellow. Something, yeah, the Burton Process is a good option. Solomon Huck Knife, the the GNU Finest. The GNU Finest might be one to really check out. So GNU, you get magnet traction on it too, and it'll be like a mellow park board that you can ride in the park, but then you can also ride it the rest of the mountain. So maybe like the Capita Ultra Fear. Capita Ultra Fear, a bit of a more mellow park board as well. So yeah, there's a few options. Bad Riders with another super chat. Dude, thank you. Says, Kev's thoughts on the turtle butt pads. Shout out DWCP. Hashtag we miss Chuck. Yeah, where is Chuck? I was thinking about him the other day. Where's Chuck gone off to? Yeah, the turtle butt pad. I see those quite a bit. I mean, yeah, I think it makes sense. I think if you're a beginner and you strap like a cushion onto your butt for protection, I mean, it can definitely help. The more cushion like around wherever you can put it, on your back, on your butt, on your knees, on your elbows, I think as long as it's like fitting well and it's not like hindering the way you move, it's for sure helpful. The other thing you can do is just wear impact shorts underneath your snowboard pants. So if you don't want to wear the full turtle butt pad, you could just do the impact shorts. The impact shorts are probably better, but the turtle pad is more fun. Nicholas says, hope you're good, Kevin. Have you ever visited Bulgaria? I go every year boarding. It's great. I've never been to Bulgaria, but yeah, I've heard super good things. Our friend Emilian Popov, he's from Bulgaria, been coming on the channel for years. And yeah, one day I'll have to go check it out. But yeah, thanks for the recommendation, Nicholas. That's awesome. Jaden says, for someone who enjoys riding piste, but also wants to progress in the park, which board style would be best? All mountain or freestyle? Thanks, Kev. I would just go with the board. So, I mean, yeah, if you enjoy riding the piste and you get a total twin freestyle board, it might not ride like quite as well as your all mountain board. However, if you're good at riding the piste and carving, then you're gonna be able to make it work. So your park freestyle board will still work fine. You might just have to put a little bit more skill into it. However, if you're interested in getting good at the park, then the freestyle board is going to make it a little bit easier than the all mountain. So the freestyle board will help you out there. So it kind of just depends on which one you want to get better at. If you want to get better at riding the piste, then go for the all mountain version. If you want to get better at the park more, then go for that more pure park freestyle board. Crystal Ball says, I wasn't in Chile this season, sadly, but I heard they opened a park and big air in El Colorado. Coralco also has a park. First one is near the capital and second one is further south. All right, good to know. All right, El Colorado and Coralco. Warren says, will you come to snowboard around New England this year? I mean, no plans at the moment, but it's definitely possible. Where would you recommend that I ride near New England? I know that you guys have some really good smaller resorts out there, and yeah, at some point I definitely need to come visit. El Stacker is watching from Boise, Idaho. Awesome. Boise, one of my favorite places in the world. Such a cool town. Luke Hayes says, wishing I was watching from Boise, Idaho. Absolutely, me too. Bad Riders, is that the famous after black over Kevin's shoulder? It is. That's the after black right back there. It's true. Oh, Luke Hayes saying, I like the review on the K2 after black. Yeah, thanks, man. I filmed that review a little while ago, but yeah, I think it came together pretty well. Yeah, I like the idea of, if I don't do a ton of reviews throughout the year on boards, but if I do a review, it's kind of fun to do it like in the moment on the mountain, because everything is like happening right then. So I feel like that's a good way to give feedback on a board is to do it live and in the moment. Bad Riders, me too, Luke. We need more reviews and overviews of boards Kevin still owns. I don't own too many anymore. I've given most of them away. So I own these two boards, and then also the one that the Justin Visey sent out, the Arbor Annex. So yeah, we'll get a review on the Arbor Annex once we get some conditions for it. iJedi says, thanks, I have settled on 18 on the front and -9 on the back. For the current board and boots that I have, 15 felt more natural, but 18, the boot fit perfectly on the board. Nice. Oh, that's good to hear. All right. Dan says crash pants under crash pads underpants, not turtles. I mean, both are kind of fun. Bolea says you made the best Ryan Napton video, better than himself. Keep those coming. Also, is a wider stance easier for carving? Yeah, I mean, some width definitely helps with carving. If you can there is a point though where if you become too wide, so like more width gives you more stability, but you also then lose your ability to like bend your knees and kind of like use your knees to steer. So even though you may have more stability with the wider stance, you lose some just of your like flexibility and like ability to move around the board. So you got to find that like happy medium where you're wide, but you're not like losing your ability to move your weight around your board either. But yeah, and then also Ryan Napton is an absolute legend. He's got a ton of amazing videos over on his channel. Like for that video, all I did was try to survive. So in that video that you're talking about with, me, I think I'm like chasing Ryan around, filming him as he's doing his carving. I was like just trying to survive as I was following him and trying to like predict where he was going to make his turns. I think we did make some plans ahead of time. So he was really good at telling me like where he was going to carve, and I was trying to hold the camera and just be in the right spot. So yeah, that video came together like super well. But yeah, it's all Ryan's riding, and I was just along for the ride. But yeah, if you guys want to see some really amazing like carving and butters, definitely check out Ryan Napton's channel. He's the man. Bad Rider saying, I'm also glad the turtle butt pad isn't localized here. They're everywhere at Falls Creek. Did not feel bad spraying them on the way through. I mean, do you guys have turtle butt pads in Australia, or do you have like I'd imagine you guys have like koala pads or something like that. I just imagine like a couple hundred Australians wearing koalas going down the beginner run. Yo, we got NGen in the chat. What's up, NGen? Thanks for hopping on, man. Lewis saying, I've been starting to take snowboarding lessons in the UK and progressing fairly quickly. If I decide to buy one, do I get a beginner board or go for an intermediate? Any recommendations? I mean, it kind of depends on how quickly you're progressing. I would say start with the beginner board. But yeah, there's a video I made like recently, just in the last like couple, like week and a half, where I go through some like great like first board options. And they're like, I guess they're like more boards like on a budget too. So for your first board, you definitely want to spend the least amount of money. So yeah, maybe check out that video. I made it recently. It's got like five main options for like sort of first boards to pick up. And then a couple extra too, just to give you some more variety. But yeah, that's a good place to start. Everyone is saying hello to Engen. He's on his fancy ripstick. Going to Kaproon and Dubai. Awesome. Robert says, do you ride Goofy? Recommendation for eyewear. Love your vids. I do ride Goofy. So yeah, right foot first. And I think my Goofy stance comes from, yeah, it's funny because when I like run and slide, I always put my right foot first out. And I think that comes from hockey and like ice hockey. Like when I would do a hockey stop, I put my like right foot down first. And when I started snowboarding, that definitely felt like way more comfortable. So I know some people do it the opposite way. Like if they run and slide, you put your right foot out first, that means that your left foot first on the snowboard. But that never made any sense to me. So I do it the opposite way. Engen says Goofy rules. Absolutely. I mean, the Goofy to regular ratio is pretty close. I think it's like 60-40. Bad Rider's saying that they got smacked with El Nino. Yeah, I think El Nino is coming to North America this winter as well. So there should be, I think they're saying there's going to be more snow down south in the southern parts of North America. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. What's your height in centimeters? I think I am your size. Want to check what's your board size? Thought to go with 159 wide since I wear 11 shoe. Yeah, so I think I'm 191 centimeters tall. I think that's how tall I am, like 191. And yeah, 6'3", 191 centimeters. I'm like about 200 pounds, which I can't remember what that is in kilograms, but yeah, if size 11 shoe, definitely go for a wide board as well. Brad Cooper is saying Sun Peaks or Big White. I've never been to Sun Peaks, but Big White was pretty cool. Not the biggest resort. I mean, fairly big. So I found that Big White had lots of like beginner to intermediate type terrain. So in my opinion, like Big White is more of like a family oriented mountain / kind of like intermediate rider mountain. Some really cool trees though at Big White, like these really short trees that are just filled with snow. So that's like very unique about Big White. And I think they have like a pretty decent terrain park there too. Fuzzy Pal says, do you recommend the Step-On series? I mean, yeah, the Burton Step-Ons are okay. They're not my favorite. I know some people like love them, but I miss straps. I definitely miss straps with Step-Ons. And I mean, you do get to click in pretty fast, but at the same time, clicking out is a little bit tedious at times. And getting like your foot like locked in can sometimes be tedious if you're like in soft snow. It can become a pain. So he says, I am 93 to 95 kilograms optimistically. Yeah, I would just also check like the weight range on the snowboard that you're buying. So 159 wide might be the size, but just double check the sizing guide that you're getting the right size board for your weight. Bradley says, new season hype. Absolutely. Yeah, the next season is coming up quick. So yeah, getting hyped on the season for sure. Lewis, what's your favorite place to snowboard in Europe? Oh man, my favorite place. I mean, I would really like to go back. I've been a lot of places, a few in the summer. I'd like to go back to. It'd be really cool to go. Oh man, yeah. I'd maybe like to really. I'd like to go back to Saint Anton in Austria. Seems like just it's such a massive resort. So many like areas and chairs and mountains and terrain parks to visit that I was there for like maybe 4 days. So I got to check out St. Anton, which was really cool, but would definitely love to go back for an extended trip just to check everything out. So yeah, I'd like to go back to St. Anton. Oh, my dog Jake is coming to say hello. Jake, do you want to say hi to everybody? Come here. Come here, Jake. Up. Oh, good boy. Oh, here's Jake. Good boy, Jake. Okay, okay. All right. Here's my dog, Jake. Oh, say hello, Jakey. Say hi. Oh, yeah. Good boy. All right. He wanted to make an appearance. This is, DZ says, big thanks for all the content over these years. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, thank you for coming on and hanging out. Appreciate it. Bad Rider says, I want to see Kev in Lax. Yeah, Lax is another spot to go back to for sure. And Jen, St. Anton is lovely, but you need 2 weeks to see it all. Yeah, definitely. Or 2 years. I feel like you could spend like, yeah, if you did a season there, it would still be not enough. I could just spend tons of time there. And Jen says, I want to take Kevin to Flacau. Oh, that sounds pretty wild. Okay, I need to look that place up then. Lewis says, I've only skied in Andorra and it was good fun. Awesome, Lewis. Yeah, Andorra, I've heard great things. Bad Rider says, Jakey usually only comes out for the members chat. Yeah, that's true. He usually does hold off until the members chat. Spectra says, hey, Kevin, I'm back after a really long time of not being in the chat with you. Awesome, Spectra. Yeah, thanks for hopping back on. Where are you watching from? And did you change your picture? I don't recognize that picture, but yeah, thanks for coming back. Brad Cooper says, heading back to Canada from Australia in February. Doug Banff area, Revy, Sun Peaks, and Whistler. Do you think a Burton Kilroy 3D will hold up as a do-it-all board? If not, what would you recommend? I mean, the Burton Kilroy 3D is definitely, like, I think a better board for the park. If you want to do it all Burton board, I would maybe check out the Deep Thinker. I think the Deep Thinker kind of gives you that all, like, you can do some powder, you can do some park. So maybe the Deep Thinker is a better do-it-all board. Dean is in the chat. Engen says, Fleckout is the spot where the absolute park is. Okay. Also great place for tree riding. All right. Well, next time I'm in Europe, we'll have to visit that spot. All right, let's go. Flabbergasted says, what's your favorite snowboard film slash short film? I think my favorite snowboard film is probably, yeah, there's a few from like the late 2000s that I used to watch quite a bit. But maybe the MacDog film Follow Me Around, that could be my favorite one. I used to really love some of the Forum movies as well. So like Forum or Against Them, that one's a great one too. DZ says, Kevin, do you have some videos of gym workouts focused on snowboarding preps? If yes, I'll look up for it. To be honest, I haven't made like a off snow kind of like fitness type video in quite a while. I think if you like search snowboard exercises or snowboard workout, you might find a video that I made like 6 or 7 years ago. But yeah, if you do like stuff like, if you do some core stuff, so like some planks, things for your core, if you do some squats, lunges, so like things get your legs strong. Yeah, mostly core and legs. If you can do those two things, then those will help you get ready. But I've been like sort of working on putting together a bunch of stuff to make a video. So I might have to put that video out in the next month or so of some pre-snowboard exercises. I think that'd be a good one. Wara dropping the $20 super chat. Amazing. Yeah, thanks so much for the support. Celebrate the first super sticker from Warren. Amazing. Yeah, for some reason I can't see the text that's behind the sticker. Let me see if I can see it somehow. Super chat. Yeah, for some reason I can't see the text for it, but yeah, appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. That's huge. Thank you. All right, let's do a few more questions. Spectra says, I'm watching from Palmer, Alaska right now. And as far as my profile, I used to run a gaming channel, but recently removed the video due to lack of time and ambition. All right, good to know. But yeah, awesome. You're watching all the way from Palmer, Alaska. Very cool. What's your home mountain up in Alaska? And Jen dropping some recommendations on DZ. Awesome. It says the cold brew is an all-around board you can ride park, and it's not the board, but the guy that counts. That's right. It's not the board, but it's the guy that counts. Beam says, hey, have you ever gone snowboarding at Mammoth in California? Yeah, a bunch of days in Mammoth. Super fun place. It's pretty big, so you can like ride a good variety of terrain, fun terrain park. Yeah, Mammoth is really cool. DZ says, it's pretty late here in Europe. Thanks for the responses. Have a great day, everyone. Cheers. Awesome, man. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for hopping on. And NGen recommending Mobility Duo for workouts for snowboarding. Yeah, absolutely. Mobility Duo are doing an awesome job. So going to end the live chat there, guys. But yeah, really appreciate everyone coming on. Just remember, if you haven't yet, subscribe here to Snowboard Pro Camp. Hit that like button. If I missed any questions, just like leave them for me down in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer all the comments. But yeah, thank you guys for hopping on, for all the super chats. This was like a big one for super chats. So yeah, thank you guys all for the support. And if you guys want to join and become a member at the channel, hit that join button, and we're going to go and do a bonus chat right now over in the members area. So yeah, for all the members, stay tuned. I'm going to hop over there. But yeah, appreciate all you guys. Hope you have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you guys next Friday. Awesome. See you guys.